You're such an asshole.
We got a hell of a question. It's a very good question, and it's going to be very germane to younger people in particular, but it served me very well. And that is the concept of having multiple jobs versus just one. I know my answer. Hi, Aaron. I currently teach first aid 20 hours a week on a particular schedule for 27 an hour. And then as a hospital, you work I don't want to identify you too much because people could triangulate you based on a number of jobs you have. you do a thing at a hospital, another 20 to 30 hours a week for for on average, God, there's a lot of details. On average, $30 an hour. I'm also on 3 other companies' books as a casual employee. My wife works full time and brings $3,000 a month. And I pull roughly in $5,000 a month after taxes. We have no debt, $60,000 in savings. I spend $1,500 a month on expenses. My other client could have used you. My question is, what is your opinion on working 2 to 3 part-time jobs instead of one full-time job? Personally, me and my wife chose this lifestyle because this allows us to swap employers like changing hats. It also allows you like flexibility, like part-time, like they're not expecting you there 40 hours a week. You can say, I'm not able to make that shift. Also, in our spare time, we like acquiring additional certifications, become even more employable. First aid, PHEC, CLT, CCNA, CCNP, because they're very short in duration, 6 to 12 weeks. P.S. What's funny is that I can't seem to find a local job in my area that matches my pay of $40 an hour as the thing I do at the hospital. I don't mind physical labor, but the money is totally worth it. Hope that helps. Keep up the good work. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. Yeah. Not only would I say it is absolutely preferable you have multiple part-time jobs as opposed to one full-time job. I would say for especially younger people starting out or people who happen to be in your situation where I guess you're just into it, or people like me who like have self-respect, it's almost preferable. You need it. You need to have multiple part-time jobs or at least a side gig so that when not if, but when your douchebag boomer or Gen X boss comes in and gives you some BS, you can say no. And that ended up costing me a lot more where I did not have a micro FU fund. I should have had a micro FU fund. I took all my money. I paid down my mortgage as quickly as I could. So I did not have a cash reserve by which to fall back upon. I needed a job, and you never want to be in the position of needing a job. And a for surefire way to ensure against that is if you got 4 jobs, one of them gets lippy, but I still keep at least half, 3/4, 2/3 of my income, and you're not as easily taken advantage of. You can hold out for better pay, like you said. You're paid way more at the hospital than you would any other job that wants you. I think the flexibility, which you didn't mention, but there's a lot of flexibility that comes in with it. But maybe not the happiest days of my life, but certainly some of the easier days in my youth was when I didn't have a daytime job. I wasn't working baking. I was teaching dance classes. I had my online classes. I worked security. And people, it's not glorious. I was like, dude, I didn't have to answer to some cocksucking banker asswipe. I was never threatened with losing my job. I didn't have to like fudge numbers. You avoid all, and the jobs you mentioned. I mean, no job is without at least a modicum of politics. But those jobs you mentioned, I bet they leave you alone. I bet you they're like, nah, he does his thing. As long as the machines don't break, we're happy. And it's gotta, you don't have any of this stress. You don't have the stress of this one full-time white collar job where you got to go into a meeting and today's penis you'll be sucking is Frank. Frank needs his penis sucked because he's a corporate marketing muck. He wants to talk to you for 3 hours about something that has nothing to do with your job. Then we're going to get on your asses why you're not able to do your job. Absolutely. Now, The one drawback, of course, is health insurance. For those of you who have family, this may not be possible. Although, I mean, you should be able. I've poked around. I've found some pretty affordable health insurance on that there interwebs. So the free market is coming back and reigning supreme once again. So that is obviously a drawback. But in terms of career stability and not having to deal with headaches at the office, absolutely. I mean, it's no different than you're dating multiple girls at one time, although you don't need to date any girls at one time. You do need a job. You're dating 4 girls, one gets lippy, out. O-U-T, out. Out, out. There's the door. Go away. The peace and the quiet. And then all the other girls like, oh, you got rid of that. Oh, my God. And as I've seen it happen before, but when you are not desperate, when you do not need that job or any job, they can't push you around as much. They can't take advantage of you. And usually you can hold out for better pay. Say, I want a raise. We're not going to give it to you. All right, I quit. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, just kidding there. Look, we found the money. Oh, the president and CEO just has one less whore he rents every week. Oh, there you go. Now you can afford healthcare. Yeah, absolutely. And I would even go so far as to say this, not as an inevitability, a requirement for younger people starting out, that you should be working multiple jobs. Unless you are the corporate man, like, no, I am a professional. I want to work in this field as this thing. And the only way to find employment is to work for one corporate, like a lawyer. You would work for one firm. You can't work for multiple firms. Or, maybe a surgeon. Can surgeons work different? I can't imagine why they can. Unless you are in a career profession where you would obviously only have one employer and would not be allowed to work on the side, I would say this is a mandatory requirement for everybody. That's darn near 90% of the U.S. labor force. Yes, you would have your daytime job, but you should always have a little side hustle that can cover like rent. Just a little side hustle that could cover, maybe if it's working part-time as a bartender. And then that way, like if your boss ever gets up in your ass, like, no, I'm not. What? Nah. I got my micro FU fund. I got my bartending job. I'm going to take a couple months off and just relax. Summer's coming up. You've been getting too lippy. Make me go to these meetings that don't serve any point and purpose. Having me do all this. Nah. Yeah, you promoted that guy because he likes sucking dick as opposed to this guy. And I figured out it's not meritocratic, and you promote people because of their traits they're born with, not their content of character. I'm not going to do that. No, I'll see you later. Bye. But, why can't we find employees? All right. This is brought to you by Bachelor Pad Economics and my course available on Teachable.com, Achieving Financial Excellence. You could search for that, Achieving Financial Excellence. Both of those will help you with your career. Bachelor Pad Economics, obviously. There's an entire chapter about careers. But how about you not need as much money in the first? Would that be nice? You need as little money as possible. And there you are not financially dependent upon a boss, and therefore you can't be taken advantage of. So I wonder if you can achieve financial excellence by working more and making more money, or without having to do with that much money in the first place. That is what that course offers. It is also linked below. That's it. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.